Hey guys, Ross here. In today's video, I'm going to share 8 tips that completely changed the way I use and work with Lovable. Lovable is the fastest growing AI company in the world right now, and people are using it to make a lot of money. And a big percentage of these people think that better AI outputs come from better prompts, which is completely wrong. What you need is better systems. Today, I'm going to show you how I personally make money. I'm going to show how to create stunning web designs with Lovable, how to save money and use Lovable almost for free, how to create better projects and products than 99% of the people out there, how to reduce effort, increase efficiency, and get predictable results every single time. First thing first, why Lovable? Well, a lot of people nowadays are using it to make hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars per month with vibe or no coding. For example, digital marketers, entrepreneurs, freelancers are using Lovable to create different landing pages, apps, and projects. So let's tap into this market. Hack number 1 is design tactics. And this is essential because you want to stand out of the crowd. You want to create not only beautiful but high converting landing pages. Now, usually people, what they do, they come to Lovable and they type, create me a landing page that looks amazing, right? And they expect Lovable to create a beautiful landing page. But let me show you what usually Lovable creates. I asked it to create an app that creates thumbnails for YouTube. And this is the landing page it created. It looks decent. In my opinion, it looks ugly. But let me show you the other version that I edited, how it looks like. And you tell me if you see the difference. Here it is. This is the new version that I've recreated. So it's usually literally the same app, this and that. But can you spot the difference? This looks way more professional and much beautiful than this one. So how did I do it? Well, instead of using the Lovable prompt here, the first thing you need to do is use Google AI Studio. Here you describe your idea. For example, I'm going to say, I want you to create me a beautiful landing page with neon purple lights for app that is about YouTube thumbnail creation. Use modern and sleek design with minimalistic elements. And once Google has created your beautiful design, then click this icon, save to GitHub. You create a GitHub account, it's free. And then from Lovable, click the same icon right here and sync your projects with GitHub. Or you can just walk into GitHub, click download here the code, download it as a zip file, and then literally you can upload it to the chat inside Lovable. So I'm gonna hit attach file and I can attach the zip and tell Lovable, hey, use the zip file I provided to you and use the design inside. Coming up next, hack number 2 is API integration. This is important to save money because usually Lovable is going to use the Lovable AI, which is a layer on top of Google AI. So it's going to add you some cost. Instead of spending more money, you tell Lovable to not use the Lovable APIs, and you can actually see the APIs usage right here when you click your thumbnail, whatever topic this is, and click settings. You go to cloud and AI balance, and there you can see how much money you're spending, and so far I've spent quite a bit for this month. To avoid this, you hook up your own API with Google Gemini because it's much cheaper that way. How do you do that? Well, you go again back to Google AI Studio, and in here you go back, and here at the bottom, you see you have Get API Key. So click that, and here at the top, you click Create API Key, and you're going to have it. And then in Lovable, you can tell it in plain English, hey Lovable, please hook up my own Google Gemini API to my project. So once you say that, Lovable is going to prompt you with a section or a box here where you can paste your Google API. Hack number 3, one prompt, multiple tasks. This hack is also important if you want to save money. So instead of telling Lovable one prompt at a time, change this, change that, change this, what I usually do, I give it multiple tasks in a single prompt, but it should be very well structured because sometimes it can get confused. What I mean by that, so let's scroll on Dragonly and let's see what kind of changes I want to make. So let's say I want to add another pricing to this, and I want to add a trust budget somewhere, and I also want to add yearly option, and I also want to add more text here. So what I'm going to say in a very structured way, the following. Hey Lovable, let's focus on the pricing module now. I want to add another tier of pricing, which is going to be $45, let's say. Then I want you to add a trust badge. Then I want you to add a yearly plan so people can switch back and forth between monthly and yearly. Here is the long prompt that I just gave it, but by using this prompt, Lovo is gonna charge me once, as far as I'm aware, instead of charging me multiple times for multiple different prompts. So this is a very handy way to save money, but again, don't try to confuse the AI, because if you tell it, hey Lovo, change the pricing and also change the header and also change the thumbnail here and maybe change the footer links, that's confusing. Just keep it structured and keep it in one operational module only. Next is hack number 4, unnecessary code. Now this hack is very important because I've discovered that usually Lovo is going to fill out my code with unnecessary code, like all these files. Let's say in the index is going to fill it with some unnecessary code that doesn't have any function, but it's there and it just slows down my app. So what I usually do, and this is what I recommend, you always tell it in the prompt box, please make sure that there is only the important code. Don't write unnecessary code. I know it sounds kind of silly to tell the AI to not write unnecessary code, but it's very important because it doesn't get it right the first time. So I always say don't write unnecessary code unless I'm doing some small changes. If I'm doing some small changes, yeah, maybe I'm not going to say it. But if you're doing like big changes, just say don't write unnecessary code. And so hack number 5 is reference framing. Now this is huge because it allows you to copy and paste images directly into Lovo and tell it what you like so Lovo actually can understand it. So here is a live example I literally did. I like the layout of this website. This is very sleek, very good looking website, and I loved this section. So what I do, I take a screenshot of this section like this. So I'm gonna take it with my tool, take a screenshot. I might put some arrows here to pinpoint Lovo to understand what I like, and I like the tilted landing page, or this is a dashboard that is tilted a little bit. So I'm going to pinpoint with these arrows. I'm going to save it on my desktop, and what I can do later on in Lovo, in the chat box right here, I'm going to reference this image by uploading it. So let me click the upload, attach. Here again is the image. I'm uploading this image to the chat box, and I'm telling Lovo, I really love this design of a tilted dashboard. Please implement this same effect in our website, plus also implement some CSS scroll effect when a person or a user is scrolling to our website. Make the flip or the tilted section move up and down with perspective. So now that I have the reference, I have the instructions, let me show you what Lovo did for me. Here's our website, and there we go. Look at the section. This is the section I told it to create, and this is how it works. It moves like that, and it looks very awesome. I also have these perspectives. You see, it's so beautiful, so amazing, and actually pleasant to the eye. Now, it took me a couple of prompts, don't get me wrong. I mean, I had to talk with the AI, make some edits, make changes to make it so smoothly and so beautiful afterwards. But there we have it. Coming up next, hack number 6, surgical edits. This hack is also very important. Why? Because once you have your project almost done, let's say you're 80% done, and you have like another 10-20% some touch-ups, you have to make surgical edits. For example, if I don't like any of these boxes here, I can say, please change the copy inside the first box of the section which is below the headline, the 3 boxes. So surgical edits only one at a time, so it doesn't break the whole design. If I want to change all the buttons to be squarish, because right now they're rounded, okay? You can see that this start free is a rounded button, so I want to change them to be squarish. Well, I'm going to change one button. So for example, I'm going to say, please change the button in the footer to be square instead of rounded. Once this is done, I'm going to tell the tool, please find all the buttons on our landing page and also change them with the squarish style or design. But first I make a small change to see if it works, and then I apply to all the other buttons. When you go to Lovable saves everything automatically, and here at the top menu you have your history, right? You can come back to the history wherever you want, to whatever changes you have done. But it's not handy because sometimes I do multiple changes in one session, as we saw. So for example, in one session I've changed the images, and I've changed the headlines, and I've changed the buttons. So 3 changes. But if in the next session I mess up something and I want to reverse just back to, let's say, the buttons, I can't, because if I reverse back, I'm going to reverse not only the buttons, but the images and the text I have changed. So to avoid this, what I do, in the chat box, I say the following. Before making changes, let's call this current version, let's say stable version v1, so we can reference it if needed, if something happens. Now, if you're more techy, later on you can find all of your pages that have been duplicated here in the code section. If you click this in the upper menu and then scroll down, go over to sources, and in sources you have these components. So click that, and here you can see all the components. So I have landing page v2, as you can see. I have already saved this for my other app, and I can always reference to this one if I want to. I have my other page already working, but here is my saved page with all the elements: final CTA, footer, I have FAQs, dashboard showcases, hero section. You can always tell the AI to reference to the page in the files if you miss them. Hack number 8 is error states. Now, this is something very small but very important, because maybe 90% of people neglect this. And what it does is that Lovable will not think about it, which is to create some loading or error spinners to tell users that something is wrong with the website. So the user is just going to stay there and wonder what the heck is going on. So that was the case with promo topics. Now, let me show you how it works now. So if I go to, let's say, AI tools or home remedies, I can click validate, this button right here, okay? And then it used to stay like this, static, and like this, nothing was showing. So what I did is I told it to create a loading spinner, so people actually see that something is loading, and you see that they're blinking, boom, they just loaded. So now we have another loading spinner. The text here is blinking. I don't know if you can pick it, but these sections are blinking. This is loading. And so the user actually knows that something is loading. It doesn't just stay static, because Lovable is not going to do it. I don't know why. Maybe AI is not as smart, is still not smart enough to think about these small details, but they're important because this creates bounce rate. What I mean, if you don't know what bounce rate is how much time a specific user is spending on your website. For example, if I don't see something loading and nothing on my page, it just stays like this, static, I'll just click off, I'll go to another website. So I have bounced. To reduce the bounce rate, create loading spinners, so the user knows something is loading and it's about to happen. Here is a prompt that I use. Add loading spinners while data is fetching. Show a friendly no results found message if the search returns empty, and display a toast notification if form submission fails. Simple as that. You can use this prompt. Let me know in the comments below if you want me. I can copy and paste all the prompts that I have here in the comments. So let me know if you need these prompts. I'll give it to you. Just comment with the word prompt. I have a bonus hack for you, which is hack number 9, hidden options inside Lovable. They're obscured. You see this plus sign? Click it, or actually hover over it, and then you have design, security, and speed. These are important, so actually pin them to the dashboard like this. And one of the most important actually metrics is this one, is the speed. This tells you everything about you need to your website in terms of SEO, because SEO, let me click it, means how much visitors you're going to get based on your SEO score. And Lovable is going to actually study your website and it's going to tell you what you need to fix. So we have mobile, let me click it, and now the mobile is loading. We have desktop. So this website, the performance is almost 100%, which is good. We have accessibilities 86%, best practices we have 100%, and SEO score 100%. So here are some errors I need to fix, avoid multiple pages, redirects, document requests, etc., etc. But the best part here is you don't even have to hire an SEO expert. You just click try to fix yourself and Lovable does everything. So go over each of these: performance, then accessibility, then best practices, then the SEO score. So this is essential for your website to be discovered by many people. Then you have this, the security icon. Now, this is about hacking your website. Usually Lovable has a very secure